What is up, everybody? Maine Fly Guys here with another new hook, our Klinkhammer hooks. I love Klinkhammers, like they're my absolute favorite dry, and these light wire gauge, they have a micro barb in case you want to, I always pinch mine, but if you want to not pinch them. Anyways, these hooks are sweet, and you can find them at maineflyguys.com, and I'm going to show you the Klinkhammer. Of course, a style that I fish often. This is, I think, our biggest hook just for visual. I usually tie it in size 16, 14. This is purple flash, this little midge crystal flash. I like to drop one out the back. So I fold over this second end, and I'll show you why. And then I just wrap up. It's important to use a thin thread, all right? It's important to use a thin thread because we are going to be covering this body with some UV glue. Alright, so I take one of those strands and then I wrap it back up over itself. And this just gives it a little shine, just a little sparkle, nothing crazy. I mean, you can barely even see it in the video. It's so subtle, but man, does it really pop. Like, it really pops. So I just have this one trailing piece here, just one, that's it. It's supposed to imitate like a shuck or a husk, something like that. The body I'm just keeping very slender, very simple, nothing too crazy. Alright, so now next I'm going to tie in my post, but before I do that I'm going to go and I'm actually going to whip finish this so I can just get everything out of the way. Just do a light whip finish, just so I can get everything out of the way, and I can UV my body now. And this is bone dry. This is the only thing I recommend for these bodies. It's this Solarez bone dry. It's so thin, it's crazy. And I'm just gonna very lightly put it on there, and then give it a whirl. Give it a whirl. The reason I give it a whirl is because that helps spread it out evenly amongst the body. And it looks like I got a little bit too much there. I mean, you really don't need a lot. Like, you can't even tell that there's any on there. This just adds some strength to this pattern. Just adds some strength, because that flash is very fragile. On these Klinkhammers, it's very fragile, and it's very easy for it to break, and once it breaks, it kind of, you're kind of like, well, that stinks, you know? Okay, so now we have our post here. This is light pink, very light pink, almost white. Okay. You want to leave about a hook eye. When you start the post, you want to leave at least a hook eye's length out back. So all I do is grab it, pinch it in between, and then I kind of do a little figure 8 tie and pull it up nice and straight. And then from here, I just start to wrap. You'll need both hands for this, for sure. I use both hands. It doesn't need to be super sturdy on the first tie. See, like, I just have, that's it. I just have this weak post. But getting those initial wraps down will make it much more solid. Then, here's your feather. Alright, here's my hackle that I'm going to put up the post. Do you see how it's bending that way, right? You want the dull side, is what they call it. Right, oh, and when you look on feathers, one side's shinier, like this side is shinier than this side. You want the concave, so there it is, to be up against the post. So you see how dull that is? See how much brighter and shinier that is? You want the dull side to be against the post. So when I'm putting it in, when I'm getting it tied in, I want the dull side to be against the post. All right. Now, to help, a lot of people will switch it like so. They'll angle the fly. It just helps you wrap a little easier, and I totally agree, it definitely does. The Klinkhammer is a two-handed fly. Like, just use two hands. It makes it so much easier to use two hands. Don't try to do everything one-handed. Don't be a superstar. Like, it doesn't make you cool, okay? Just use two hands. Okay. Come on. Come on. There we go. All right, now this post is very, you know, it wiggles a little bit. So what I do, let me get my, there we go, is I take some super glue, which is around here somewhere, there it is, and I gently dab it at the base. This will add some stability. Now you can come in here with any color hackle. Let me drop this down a little bit. You can come in here with any color, not hackle, but dubbing. I'm going to continue, and I'm going to do like this very gentle olive. One of the biggest mistakes here is to put too much. People who put too much, their Klinkhammers don't sit right, and they sink because this little bit gets waterlogged. So that's it, I'm done right there. I'm going to go to the eye, and I'm going to get in position out back. So that's all I'm doing, just this little tiny bit, just a little tiny thorax. I don't want to put too much, because if you put too much, then what ends up happening is your fly sinks. Okay. So now I have repositioned my fly. My thread is behind the post, and now I'm going to start wrapping my hackle. And I like to do 7 to 8 wraps. That's 3, that's 4, that's 5, that's 6, that's 7, and I'm about at the bottom. So there's my 7th wrap, right? So now I'm going to go on top of that hackle, catch it. I do the wiggle. I catch it twice and do the wiggle to not trap any fibers. See how they're all nice and parallel, right? So then I'm going to cut the excess. I save those, by the way. You should too. And I'm going to come in here. This is where you can cut your post to a desired length. I like mine a little short. Some people like them really long. I like them really short. And I'm going to whip finish right here. I'm not going to go back to the front of the eye. I am just going to whip finish right here. See, you can just get right underneath everything. 1, 2, 3. And then before I pinch everything together, you can either take super glue or UV and put it on that loop where that you have attached. You can put it right on that loop. I won't be doing that today. You put it on that loop and then cinch it tight, and then you are all done. Then you can trim your thread, and now we have this beautiful little Klinkhammer. Look at that. Super simple, right? Super simple, floats really well. Get some of these fibers out of here. Floats really well. You can trim it up. And look at that. See these fibers here on the bottom? This is what you want. Nice parallel. It's going to cause your fly to float like so. Right? Boom. Super simple. Just a nice clean fly. And that's what you can get with these new hooks. These new Klinkhammer hooks. Super awesome hooks. The reason I like them is because the light gauge. they have a light wire gauge, so the hook itself is very light. This will allow your Klinkhammers to float, right? Like this will float while the hook hangs down, right? Put a little floating right on here on this little fluff, and boom, you're good to fish this as an emerging insect pretty much all day long, or an adult laying an egg or something, and boom, that's the Klinkhammer. So check out our new hooks, mainflyguys.com. Go get them now. They're super awesome. They look great. Great flies. They make great flies. Great flies start with a great hook, and that's what we got. So thanks for watching, everyone. We'll see you next time.